So this is the course topic. So what all the things we'll be covering? We'll be covering Selenium. Along with that, we'll be covering an advanced phase of automation, not Selenium, advanced phase of automation. What extra things you can take away from the course, okay? Just knowing a Selenium is one thing. Along with Selenium, what all the things you know, okay? Because Selenium is one thing, but along with that, many other things also comes you should be knowing. So we'll be covering that also, okay? So module 1 will be about introduction to Selenium and its components. So in this module, we'll be understanding what exactly automation is. Then we'll be jumping to Selenium. Then we'll be taking real-time scenarios like what exactly, many people here have come from testing background. That is the very good thing. And because you're not from any other background, even if you would have been, then it wouldn't be a problem for you. But right now we have to focus on the current scenario. So what will be the takeaway of this module? Module 1, you will understand what automation is, okay? And you will understand what all the other tools that you have in market, QTP, IBM RFT and Selenium, and how Selenium is better than them. Okay, you need to understand it, and I will be discussing it. Then we'll be going to Selenium IDE, and we'll see Selenium Grid and WebDriver, and we'll take one use case example of Facebook. So this is the thing that we have to complete today, and these are the components of Selenium. So our main target right now is to understand what automation is, okay? Why we want to go for automation, okay? I'll try my best to take real-time scenarios for each and everything, okay? So in between, if I am missing anything, just ping me to repeat it if you want, okay? And if I am going fast, just let me know, okay? But I won't go. So friends, like what exactly we do in manual testing, okay? You have if you are in some working for a client and they have already built an application and they want someone to test it, okay? They hire 10 to 15 resources just to test their application it's working up and running, because they have to deliver it to their clients. They have to deliver to their users. There should not be any problem in the live environment what they have, okay? That's the reason people are putting so much of money. The company is putting so much of money in hiring the resources just to see the things are up and running, okay? Because there is not one application. If I say if there is a client, right, in examples also I'll try. I won't take the client names, friends, because I have also worked with many clients, so I don't want to reveal the names. But if I feel, I'll reveal the name if it is a very good example, okay? So in my, there are many clients who have 1,000 plus or 2,000 plus web applications, okay? So they cannot hire a single or 2 or 3 resources to test all those on regular basis, okay? They need to hire 15 to 20 resources, okay? If it is an average based company, if it is a CMI level 5 company, they'll be hiring 60 to 70, maybe 800. In one of my project, that was an European project. In India itself, we have in Bangalore and Chennai, we had 800 plus resources for testing, and that was a very big client for European banking sector, okay? They do authentication during transaction in ATMs. When you do a transaction in your ATM, in between the authentication process, they do it. And they have lots of web applications internal also, okay? So it's not that all web applications which are there on the internet which you can see are the only web applications. No, internally in the company also they have many applications, okay? So they hire the resources, okay? The resources has to test the applications on regular basis, okay? They have a very short deadline and they have to do thousands plus transactions. If you are from a testing background, you can analyze the scenario, okay? You can see what pain you are having when you have to do it, okay? If it is a one-time effort, it's okay. If you are telling me to do it again, it's okay. But the thing is that you have to keep the things testing on regular basis. That's what that's the reason why company has hired you, okay? So that is a very big pain point, that you have to test the application on regular basis, okay? And you get few change in your application, and what will happen, you have to test the new functionality that has been added to it along with the original functionality that you have, okay? You have to validate like if it is a web application, okay, there are scenarios that you have to download the report from the web and you have to validate the reports as well. That is also a very big pain point because report will be too big to validate it, to validate that thing against your database. Okay, I have downloaded a report from web application. It has 1000+ records. I have to validate that thing against a DB. I'll be downloading it. I'll go to the DB. I'll put up the data, means I'll fire a query. I'll then manually I'll be comparing it. And people don't go with exact calculation. They go with assumption. Okay, looks like data is correct. Out of 100, you will check for 2 or 5 or 10, not complete 100. But so that is one of the pain point. And like once you do the manual testing, whatever functional testing or regression testing you do in your company, okay, if I'm using any jargon, friends, let me know. If you like, I'm using functional testing and regression testing. If any one of you has a question what it is, let me know. Okay, if it is okay with you guys, then that's good. So once you do the manual testing, what process you follow? Okay, so once you validate the things, you have to take the screenshot. In that screenshot, you have to highlight the things. Okay, this is what I have validated. If you have a test case, in one scenario you have, like if you get one something to test, okay, you will have 4 to 5 to 500 to 600 things to test at the same time. So can one resource do it? No. Can 2 resources do it quickly? No. So that's the reason they are hiring more resources. So if I want to complete 1000 test cases quickly, that is also a small part of your application, because actually you had 4,000 or 5,000, maybe 10,000 test cases, complete test cases for your application. Out of that, I need to check 1000 test cases in 2 days, because daily we have other things as well to do. So client don't want to test all the time. They'll give you a common functionality, hire 6 to 7 resources already in the team which are there. They already know the application and they'll test it and give back to you. So they'll divide the work. They'll do the reporting part and send back to the team. That takes lots of time. Okay. So this guy is crying actually. Why should I do the same process again and again without any change in flow? Maybe it shouldn't be with you guys. You guys are not crying, right? When you got these types of scenarios, or it's the same thing with you guys also. Okay. So understanding the business requirement, you will get some scenario requirement from your client. Then you will test lab planning. Then you need to plan that how exactly you need to do it, because you won't be knowing the application. If you are new to, let's always imagine a scenario. Don't imagine yourself to be an expert. Okay. Always imagine a scenario that you are new to the application. How should I do it? Okay. Because you are not there to test the application whole life. Okay. Today you are in one project working with one application. In the same project you will get a new requirement. Okay. So there is yeah, you can be an expert in doing up some Excel thing or a scenario, but if new application comes with you, you again become something, again becomes a fresh thing comes to you. Okay. There is nothing, again you have to go through the document and do it. Then you have to design it and then you will do the execution. So first 3 phase itself will take time, and then test execution will be a very big thing. So they'll divide it in the resources and then you will log the defect if it is there. Okay. So it will go to the production team, technical development team, that is the team which has developed the application, and they'll see the defect log and they'll fix up the things. And in the next release, it will come as a fixed. Okay. So this guy is thinking, why should I do? His question is that just see, he's saying something. He's not saying that I don't want to do testing. This guy is saying, why should I do the same process again and again? The problem, the pain point is saying that I have the repetition of thing. There is no end to it. Okay. So if we go with automation testing, like tools like Selenium, we can automate the processes, whatever pain point this guy is having. Okay. And what effort he has to put, he just have to prepare a test script and just put it on execution and go for break or lock your system, and you can do unattended execution. Whole day you can do your job, put the things on execution and go home and come back. By the time everything will be up and ready. for you so that you can go ahead with the next process. So we can automate this steps that I have discussed here, okay, with automation. And then this guy is saying that, oh wow, now I don't have to do the same process again and again, and that's what automation is, okay. So along with manual testing, you have DB testing. You have to get the manually, you have to get the data out from the database, put it in your test cases, and once you will get the data by firing an SQL query, then if you want to get the data, you need to be an expert in SQL. Then again it's a pain point. You need to learn if you don't know. So if already someone has written, why not to think in that way? If someone has already done the thing, why not to reuse it? But when you do it manually, get the data out of it, how can you reuse it? There is no option. But when you do with automation, let's take a case. I am in a project and I am doing some work and I have written a query to get the data out of it, okay. Once I leave the project and I'll join another project, now new resource will come. Again, he has to learn the thing. I have to transfer the knowledge to him. Okay, this is how you have to do. This is the place where you have to go. Okay, so but when you do with automation, you don't have to tell him each and everything. Just tell him that this is the place where exactly you just have to put the query. That's it. And obviously he has to know few things, but he don't have to do everything from scratch. Okay. Maybe he can add a new query to it, but no need to do again everything from scratch, writing in that get the data. In manual testing, this is a problem, but with automation, you can do once and just reuse it. Okay. So now this slide is very important. You need to understand where exactly automation is being used. Okay, friends, it is using like all financial banking companies are using it, telecom, e-commerce, and all like educational websites, blogs. Everyone is using automation because the application is fixed, the processes are fixed, and they want to test it on regular basis. Okay, so when you do manually, you don't test the application more than 5 times in a month. I'm very sure you won't do it. You won't test each and everything more than 5 times in a month. Okay, in a month, let's take a case. In a month, you won't test the application's functionality. But if you do it 5 times also in a month and test some functionality, that is also a very good thing. Okay, but when you do with automation, you do 24/7 testing of your functionality. Okay, every night I'll design an engine which will be running 24/7. Next morning, whenever I'll come, if I wanted to see that everything is working fine or not, because what we'll do, we'll try to generate the output in the form of report. I don't want to put my head in a junk data. I want a meaningful data out from my execution. Okay, I just wanted to see. Next morning I'll come, I'll open a document which will be auto-generated in my system. I'll open it, I'll see how many pass, how many fail, at what time, how much time each execution took, and what if it failed, what was the reason. To find the reason, automatically a screenshot will be taken. I'll go to a specific folder where exactly it got failed. I'll see the screenshot and I'll come to know that was the reason. That sounds good, right? You can imagine the scenario, right? The one I have explained to you. This is how it is. Okay. What you do it, you have to, when you do the things, then you can show a proof. Here you have to put it on execution next day, or if it is a very big, maybe a whole day it will take. If you have 10,000 things to validate in web application, you can have a dedicated machine for testing, and things will be auto-generated for you, and you can see the count. Maybe in 1 row or 2 row you can see the overall status of your execution. Okay. At the same time, an auto test results file will also be generated. So we'll be coming up like what all the things gets auto generated, how much effort I have to put, like that way we have to think. Okay. One of the phase, like it's like once you do the test execution and test designing, the screenshots that you can see in the right hand side, those things you have to do. So you have to load the things manually. You have to create a test result file so that you can show it to your client or to an SME who is actually a very expert in the application, because someone has to be there to review your data. Okay, then validation of the checkpoints that your client has asked you to do it. Okay, so what all the things you are doing it here manually: creating test result files, taking screenshots for validation points, loading all the documents on shared drive for SME review, and sharing files with other resources. So once you do the manual testing, you need to generate some reporting part, right, so that your higher management can understand. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So this is what you have to do so that it can help the higher management to understand. Okay, friends, right now I am trying to create as much scenario I can, okay, because I want you to think the problem. Okay, what problem we have. Okay, so once you see why higher management is not at all interested what is there in your test script. Okay, it is interested whether it is pass or fail, whether things are going correctly or not, whether whatever process we followed in last 3 months, is it going correctly or not. That output will help them in do geography analysis. That thing will help them in analyzing how much resource it took to automate to test 1,000 transactions. So that will decide them, that will give them a decision factor on financial analysis. They can do data analysis like how many pass fail. They can do graph and chart analysis. So when you do graph and chart analysis, you have manually you create the test cases and all those things. Once you do the functional testing, you will download the things, and with that data you will put it in an Excel sheet. That is the best way, the best thing that everyone is doing. Okay, in most of the companies they are using an Excel sheet. In that they'll put up the data. Excel is actually a very good thing to restructure your data, and you will reform it in form of a chart or a bar graph. Okay, so that you can represent it. Okay, so this is the thing that you are doing it. Okay, okay. Like Pavel, Pavel has a question. Please explain how it helps in geography analysis. Okay, Pavel. See, I'll give you a very good example. I had a client. There was a client. Actually, it was an authentication company which do an authentication during financial transactions. Okay. So what that company was doing, that company was having, it was a US project only. Okay, so what that company had, it was having many clients throughout the globe. Okay, so how that geography and like how it was helping in geography analysis, they test UK transactions separately, they'll test India transactions separately. They'll test different parts of the world wherever the things are running up and running. Okay, if I say, because see, things has been globalized. If today I launch my web application, someone from the corner of the world, if I am sitting in one corner and someone is sitting at the other corner of the world, can see. Okay, so we all are connected through internet. That is very sure. Okay, that we all know. We all are connected through internet. Now, what that company was doing, it was analyzing the applications in a specific locations, that how it is working in that location, how it is working in that location, and that payment process actually was of an e-commerce site. Like they have actually, it was a banking company. Like they have some online portal. Okay, you can buy a credit card. With that they have a separate portal. Okay, so they want to analyze how things are working in different parts of the location. Okay, so whatever output they get from the live data, like because if today's my application is running, many people are doing some buying something, many things from there, and is there any that they do the payment process. So some data gets generated from there. Okay, so what that company was doing, they were taking up to that data and analyzing how now the analysis comes. Okay, what was the total profit they made? It was actually, the business is actually running up in that part of the country or not. If not, then they have a separate like they'll give more discounts to that part of the country. So like that way it was. Okay, so depending upon the region to region, they are analyzing the geographical analysis, this is how it was working. Okay. And one more thing is that there was one application called content management. Okay, so they put there, it was like CMS, like I think you can take a WordPress example also. So even WordPress also, they put up their data depending on their region. Okay, like in country, they'll analyze it, what kind of documents these people are reading. Then they'll see what kind of documents that other countries. So you can do data analysis depending upon the live data what you get from your web application. Okay, so that data, where it will be in your database or somewhere in your application. Okay, everyone don't have all the level of access. So an admin can log in, get the data and see, okay, this is how what the data has come. So every time they have to go and look into it. Okay, every time you have to go and look into it. So why not to automate that process and get the meaning, aggregate data, consolidated data from there and put it in form of a report. Okay, so this guy is again saying it's the same thing, that I have to do the same process again and again with multiple set of data. There is no change in the application as well. Okay, so with the help of automation, what you can do now the scenario is clear to you. You know how automation can help in fetching the data from your database. Okay, right now we are focusing on automation. Okay, Selenium is there, but right now our focus is on automation, and whatever scenario I'm taking, you can do with Selenium also. Now you don't have to do it, just prepare your test script once. Now these guys are happy, we have already prepared the script, we'll just put it on the execution, whether it is a financial, e-commerce, telecom, whichever vertical it is, not a problem, it will go and execute it. And once the execution gets completed, screenshots, test result files, graphical analysis reports will be auto generated. Okay, and this is the auto generation of everything. Okay, and taking screenshots and auto generation of reports. So this is what the data has come out from the execution, and with that data, result means a data has been generated for the higher management to do some analysis. Okay, so that's what the flow is. So what effort you have put, you have just click on run and everything is done by itself, and you will get the output. So here you are saving lots of time also. Okay, we'll come to know how automation is helpful in other things as also. Okay, but as of now for this scenario, this flow is like that. Okay, this flow is clear to you guys. So now this guy is happy. He is thinking, okay, thank God automation has saved me. Now I won't be crying that I have to do the same process again and again. So that's actually true. Now I don't have to do the same process again and again, right? Because we were testing the same thing, same process again and again. And don't have a confusion in the mind that automation is for that application which is always fixed. No, automation is for dynamic applications as well. Okay, so dynamic has many meanings. In further slides we'll come to know. In between, if you have, anyways I'll be taking up that example, but in between if you have any scenario, just ask me that you had this scenario and how can we automate that thing. Okay, because dynamic means data can be dynamic, it can be your web, it can be the flow, how to do it, it can be a change in your application. I wanted to write once and do 10 things. That can be an example of dynamic also. Okay, so we'll be taking up that examples. So friends, now this slide will be very easy for you to analyze each and every point. So time consuming and tedious, automation is fast. Okay, you have to invest huge on human resources because you have to hire the resources to test the application. But once your test scripts are ready in automation, you don't have to hire more resources. You can have 4 to 5 resources only to test it, because even they also don't have to do it. You can have a dedicated machine there you can run. Even I'll give you an example. You can do, I'll show you an example where you can go to Outlook, you can chat on OC, you can go to your application, what you want to do, you can go to an Excel and do the things, and at the same time when your execution is also running. Okay, you can minimize your browser and do the execution. When you go with manual testing, you are not accurate all the time, but automation is 100% accurate because it will do what you have told him. It won't do anything of other than that what you have told him. Okay, Not good for regression testing, because see, in regression testing, as I've already told you, regression testing is done for it's a testing of an application on regular basis to check the new functionalities. That's what regression testing is. You wanted to check on regular basis whether things are working or not. Okay, in regression testing, we don't test full application. We test only main part of the application. Even there are cases that we don't do it, we miss up the things, or we messed up with the things if it is too big and with short deadline. But with automation, we can do 24/7 testing. So when actually regression testing comes, it saves lots of our time and it gives us an accurate result. Actually, if there is a problem in the application because of the new functionality, automation will find it. Once or twice you will be doing the testing of your application, but with automation you can do, as I told you, frequent execution whenever you want it to have. Okay, manually when you are testing an application, your system, actually you are working on your system. Okay, you cannot do other than, and you cannot do any other thing. But when you do with automation testing, just now I told you can minimize your browser, or you can run your test on any other machine, a dedicated machine. Okay, manual testing is good for UI testing, but not useful for, sometimes not useful for automation. Why? Because see friends, let's take a case where there is a change in the requirement, and tomorrow is your go live. Today your development team has done some change in the functionality, and within 5 hours they wanted you to test the functionality whether everything is up and running or not in other regions, right? Because if it like, okay, I'll give you an example. You have let's take a case, Flipkart is a good example for you guys. Let's take a case, Facebook. Okay, Facebook, I think you all guys will be knowing. So Facebook is having one environment which is called, so UI testing. I was taking up an example. You need to understand, if someone asks you that always test automation is helpful, can automation testing can do everything? Okay, so this was a question someone asked me. So what I was explaining you friends, that your product, the application is about to go live. Okay, the production team has done some change. Now they wanted you to test it within 4 to 5 hours, because one change can do a slight, is linked to other things as well. Okay, again in between, okay, I'll give you one more example. There was one of my friend, we went to a cafeteria. Okay, she told me, okay yaar, yesterday we got a very short deadline, and in between I just missed one thing. You know friends, she tested an application, she took a screenshot of that, but actually that thing was wrong. And the problem, you know what was that? Some calculation was coming wrong. 0.20 pounds were coming more. Like in payment process, if you do some payment process, I'm not exactly sure what that payment process or calculation was about, but in what overall calculation, 0.20 euros were coming more. Okay, so you can imagine how much loss company could have. Actually it went to the go live, and then they found it, and then they'll come to know, then everyone was on that, the testing team only. So you can see, even they have tested it, even she took a screenshot, then things were wrong. Okay, if it would have done with automation testing, it couldn't have been. Okay, so you are not 100% sure that whatever things you have tested will always go. So that part of time, that 4 to 5 hours, you cannot go with automation, because you have to go to your test script, twist it, and then make it run. Okay, so the best part is what you can, rather than going and checking everything and setting up your test script will take 1 or half an hour, you can actually go and check up the thing. So these are the useful scenarios that where manual testing is helpful. Okay, so where exactly we are, so finding defects missed by manual testing. So I'll quickly, that was a very good feedback, because see, if you come up with those types of things, that will also help me, because my aim is to make you understand the scenarios. Okay, if you guys are okay, I can slowly move forward fast. Okay, and let me know if I'm too going into explanation. So test usage is what, like you need a quick feedback. you don't want to miss manual scenarios. You need everything to be done on time. You have very limited scenarios to test it, but with automation, when you go, you can do it. And when it comes for agile extreme development methodologies and agile development, like there is a case that your development team is doing some development and at the same time you have to test the application. Okay, so if your test scripts are up and running, you don't have to retest everything, because once your test scripts are ready, you can put it on execution and it will execute it. Okay, and there will be a disciplined documentation of the test case. You will be knowing the process, how exactly it is and how it can be done. And then reporting, defect reporting will be easy with automation, because you have to go to a log tracker way or a defect log, you have to log it, and then but when you do it, things gets auto generated. Okay. So how it will be: cost reduction, reusability, you can reuse your test cases, it will be fast. Unattended execution, you can execute on do execution on a dedicated machine. Okay, thanks Shovan. You can do your execution on a dedicated machine, or you can minimize your browser and do the execution. It will be reliable. Why? Because I took an example about the missed out in the calculation of the value. So it will be reliable because whatever things you have written, that only will be tested. Okay. Better quality, because whatever things you have done, it's not a random thing that you are going to do. This is what you have already done. You have written and you wanted it to be. Okay. So what is the disadvantage on automation? Okay, it's not easy. Okay, why it's not easy? Because you have to be skilled in scripting. Whatever process you have, it's not that anything you will write and it will work for you. No, you have to write very specific things, very specific keywords to make it run, and it should be in a proper documented way. Okay, automation script errors. If you write anything wrong, any wrong step in your script, it will fail. Complexity, it depends how you are writing your test script. If you are trying to put everything in one test script, it will become a junk data for you. Next time when you yourself will see into it, it will be difficult for you to fix it. But if you categorize in your test script in modules, it will be easy for you to go ahead and do it. Okay. And debugging, because if you put everything in one place and wanted to say that, okay, I have 100 test cases, I wanted to put in one place and do it in one flow, that is wrong. You can do it in one flow, but have it in a separate in Excel sheet we'll be preparing. So have it a separate classes or separate tabs for that, so that if anything goes wrong, you can go to the specific script and do it. So overall disadvantage is what? It's you who is doing the who is misusing the automation. You are not documenting it properly. You are not writing the test case properly. Okay. So can everything be automated? So I've already answered this question. I've taken many scenarios. So it's like, if on regular basis, if things are changing, so you should not go. And if you have a very short deadline, you should not go. Okay. Let the application come up. If it is changing in your regular basis means what? Like you have an application and it is very initial phase of building it. Like hardly 5% of things have built up in the application. Then there is no point in going with automation, because in coming 3 or 4 days again they'll change the application. Again in 1 month they'll change the application. So let the application get completed, build it completely, then go with automation. Okay. So what are the automation tools we have? QTP, Selenium, IBM RFT, Seculis for image recognition, Silk test, test complete. So there are many automation tools in the market, but the best known is what? The leading ones are which tools? HP QTP, Selenium, IBM RFT. So all three has their own pros and cons, but somewhere Selenium is leading them much ahead. It's much ahead them. Okay, in few of the things. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So now you can correlate the things, friends, by QTP, IBM RFT and Selenium. Okay, why should you go for Selenium if QTP is there? Why should you go for IBM RFT if Selenium is there? Okay, I'll go through this slide quickly. Okay, ask me if you have any confusion, any doubt. Okay, I think the data which is written in the slide is very much clear. QTP, IBM RFT are licensed, but Selenium is open source. If you go with a knowledge, if you want to gain a knowledge in a QTP or IBM RFT, you need to pay more because it's a licensed tool. You have to pay for the license, because whosoever or the company is or the trainer is, they have to pay for the tool. Then only you can get the full access to it, and then you will come to know. But with Selenium, it's an open source. You can do it easily. When you go with QTP and IBM RFT, you have a dedicated team to resolve your issue. If today is anything is going wrong in your applic tool, then there is a dedicated team which will be helping you. But in QTP and IBM RFT, like in Selenium, you don't have any dedicated team. It's an open source, so it's a community that where you will be actually connected and you will get the things out of it. Okay, so there are many people who are working on this community, and you will get the your solution from the blocks. Okay, but for you guys, you have an additional benefit of getting the solution done from Edureka. So there is a very big group of people who are sitting here and helping the resources who actually wanted to get the things done and wanted to resolve their issues. Okay. Hardware requirement for QTP and IBM RFT is high. I'm not comparing QTP and IBM RFT. I'll compare these two with Selenium. So the requirement, hardware requirement is high, but for Selenium is very, very, very low. Okay. Very low means it's in less than 100 MB, I should say. But for QTP and IBM RFT, it will, you need a very good, for at least for installation, you need 4 GB. Then you need some extra, when it will be running, it will occupy your RAM space. So when RFT runs, I was doing, I was working on IBM RFT. I've worked on IBM RFT also for mainframe and web automation also. I've done automation of web with IBM RFT. So that time, if you can go to the configuration, you can see it will occupy 1 GB of your space. Okay. So if you do bulk testing, your RAM will go down and it will hit your RAM, and your execution will stop and it will generate a dump files in your project. Okay. For QTP and IBM RFT, coding experience is required in some specific languages. But for in Selenium, you don't have to be very much specific to a language. Like for QTP, you should know VB script only. For IBM RFT, you should know Java and C#, JavaScript only. Okay, C#. But in Selenium, you can come from any platform and do the things. Okay. QTP, the very drawback, what I feel about QTP is that it runs on Windows only. But IBM RFT also runs on Windows and Linux, Mac also, not only Windows. Okay. It provides support for that. And the Selenium can run on any platform, Windows, Linux, Solaris, Mac, any platform. It supports all the platforms. Languages, it's very much restricted. You should know only VB. For IBM RFT, you should know Java and C# and JavaScript, but with Selenium, you can come from any background. Okay. So I think this picture gives you a very clear concept why Selenium, friends, right? Okay. Sambha has a question. If there is an issue, sorry if I am pronouncing it wrong, Ravi, can I call you Shiva? Shiva is okay? Yes, okay. Because I was a little bit confused. Okay. So if Shiva has a question, if there is an issue found in Selenium, okay, support fix may be late because it's an open source. Did you hit or know any issue in Selenium? Did you hit or know any issue in Selenium? Okay. See, oh, I think, okay. Shiva, are you thinking that Selenium is a tool? Can you answer me this, yes or no? No, okay, you are not thinking Selenium is a tool. Then what does that mean? I didn't get it. You wanted to ask that when you are doing something in between, you are facing some issue in your coding, or you are asking that when you are doing something, you found some issue in Selenium and you wanted to get it fixed. What it is exactly? Because it's an open source. Okay, so I think you wanted to ask that if you face any problem in Selenium, how to do it, right? Yes. So thing is that let's be very clear. See, it's an open source. There are I'll tell you a few blocks where you can go. Actually, we'll be covering most of the scenarios, but then also let me take you to I had somewhere a blog community. Yes, this is a very good community, Google community. Okay, I'll share the link with you guys. So here you can actually go and see people are putting up their questions. Okay, you can join the community, you can put up your questions. Okay, this is a case when you are not getting an answer for your question, when something you have found and it is just like anything new, you have want to invent it and put it there, but 99.99% you will get your answers from Stack Overflow. Okay, I'll show you a site. Because as per my experience, friends, like if I initially, for me also it was new. Okay, I was like you only. Okay, and within a year of like I was able to visualize each and every scenario. I had worked on so many concepts that I was just once or twice I have worked, then I'll know, okay, this is the place where I got it, this is how it has to be done. Okay, there are few things only that you need to understand. Remaining things you can, like in Selenium, you can have a few like grab 10% of knowledge of like full scenarios. Like in 10% of your knowledge of Selenium can help you in exploring many things. Okay, so I'll just give you an example. Selenium in Selenium plus Stack Overflow. So this is a site where you can get all your questions. It means you can get answer for all your questions. I'll put it in a chat window. Okay, so these blocks and these sites will help you in answering it, and above on that, we guys will help you in resolving the issues. And the best part is that whatever test cases and scenarios we have, okay, I have tried my best to put all in my PPT. Okay, it's and the LMS that you can see there. I'll be uploading each and every, how to interact with checkbox, how to upload a file, how to take a screenshot, how to select a value from a drop down, how to enter the value in a text box, how to handle security enabled web browsers. You can see, you will get a link, continue to the website. So whatever scenario is there, we will be discussing. Okay, I am very sure from my end that I have not missed a single point, but if any 1% of chance is there and you are coming across such scenario, drop me a mail directly. That time itself I'll help you. Okay, or the support team. Do you mean Selenium is not a tool? Yes, Ranjit has a question. Do you? Okay, thanks Shiva. I think I have answered your question, Shiva, right? Any, Shiva, I have answered, yes, okay. Just let me know, even if I am answering doesn't mean you have to say yes. You can crossfire me, no Sushobit, this is not the thing I was expecting, can you come up again? You have full rights to ask. Ranjit asks, do you mean Selenium is not a tool? Yes, Ranjit, I was about to come to that point. Okay, so Selenium is not actually a tool, it's a Java API which you will be using it to design a framework. That is a very good thing. You don't need any installation, you don't have to download it. With a very less system requirement, you can do the things. Okay, Ranjit is saying, but that Stack Overflow website you opened says Selenium is an open source tool. No, Ranjit, people will say like Selenium is a tool, but actually Selenium is not a tool. Selenium is a Java API, Selenium WebDriver. Yes, when Selenium came up, it came with a tool called Selenium IDE. We'll come up. We are about to reach there. Okay, so we'll come up what tool we have in Selenium. Okay. Can you repeat again? I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall your name, friend. Raman, can I call you Raman? I got a question from Kothan. Let me maximize my chat window. Okay. Shikam. Okay, Pravina. Okay, Pravina. Sorry, really sorry for that. Seriously, I don't want to be, because your name was actually not coming there. That's the reason I was not able to recall it. Okay. So Pravina, like what part of the thing you want me to repeat? You want me to repeat about whether Selenium is tool or not? Yeah. So, okay. As of now, just take a comment, just take my statement. Selenium is not a tool. Okay. We'll come to it. We have you'll be knowing soon. Okay. If I'll go into it, then we have a very short time, maybe. And again, in the coming slides, you'll come to know that what I was about to say. Okay. So in coming slides, it will answer your question. As of now, just think that Selenium is not a tool. So now the lady has come and she will catch you guys now. Okay. Now I have tried my best. Now it's your time to answer my question. So Annie will be coming in between. In the module 1, the Annie will come less, but in coming modules, she'll be coming on regular basis and catching you guys. Okay. So she'll be asking you question and you have to answer it. Okay. So I need an answer from each and every one. All web applications can be automated using Selenium because of its support for multiple language and platform. It's a multiple choice question. If you get, so guys answer it. So if it is a radio button, that means only one. If it is A, B, C, D or 1, 2, 3, 4, then that means it's a multiple choice question. But in multiple choice questions also you can have one answer. Pavel saying 1, yes, as it supports multiple language and platform. Read out the question, friends. I'll say before answer A, this shouldn't be there if, okay, I won't tell who has answered what. Maybe you guys will think that, okay, this guy has answered this, I'll also answer. This shouldn't be a case. So Pavel, Sovan, Ruchi, Sabita, Ruchi, okay, yes, Ranjit, Teja, Ali, Pravina, I'll call you. Your full name is not coming, so every time I won't be recall it. I'll call you. It's your. Maybe I'll try to recall your name. Okay. Okay. Shikamani. Maybe something is wrong. Okay. So people have pinged Shikran. Okay. So most of you have answered 1. Yes, as it supports multiple language and platform. Read out the question, friends, again. All web applications can be automated using Selenium because of its support for multiple language and platform. Jadeep, don't be, it's not a, he's saying should be 1 and 4. I need one answer, or 1 and 4. It don't be, maybe option is not there. Okay. Showan is saying, okay, let me catch someone who has answered. Okay, fine. We shouldn't, okay, I'll be going for the explanation. So most of you have answered 1, which I feel is not correct, because there is a reason why you have answered 1, because you know, friends, you have not visualized the scenario. You have answered because you know the things. Without visualizing it, you have answered. Okay. No, because no one has put second. Very good. Few people have pinged no, because it's because of platform independence only. Very, very, very wrong. Okay. 4th, depending upon the application under test. Okay. Let me go to the answer. Okay. Let me check what Annie is saying. Okay. The correct answer is D, depending upon the application under test. Okay. So friends, like 100% of automation is achieved only after analyzing the application, okay? Because there are scenarios which are not in hand of Selenium. If you say that I wanted to do an automation with Selenium, so can I achieve 100% automation? No, you have to little bit explore the things. You have to use the other, because the benefit of Selenium is that there are many things in the Java, Python, and all the languages that you can use it to hit 100% automation. So being like if it is platform independent, and that doesn't mean that it will do everything for you. Okay, so those applications whose data keeps on changing for every 5 to 10 seconds won't be good to automate. So, but this can be automated. Okay, so you have to visualize the scenarios, what all the things you have to do. If it's not in the hand of Selenium, then you have to write a small code for it and do it. Okay, so for those scenarios also, don't think that if you have any scenario, just ask me. But if you think, okay, in future it will come, how I'll be doing, leave it on me. I'll be taking up all the examples. Okay, I'll try my best to cover all the things. Annie didn't ask 100% factor in her question, so I think Annie is not being specific here. Oh, Shovan, don't worry, she'll be catching you. Okay, so Annie is very clever. So Annie ask a question. She'll ask you in such a way that you have to think out of the box. Okay, if I say, okay, in coming slides, don't worry, if I say 1 2 3 4, right, there will be a case, the answer will be something else. Okay, so asking a question doesn't mean that your answer should be accurate. You have to think out of the box and answer it. Okay, that's good, Shovan, very good. I like your attitude and the attitude of other team members like Teja, Jaideep, Venkat, Ali, Ranjit, Jaideep, Anuj. It's a very huge crowd is there. I cannot take the name of all if I'm missing anyone, but thanks guys. Okay, so unique features of Selenium. Okay, I have to start from here. Okay, I'll finish the slides quickly. I think I've already covered. So what is the unique feature of Selenium? It's already covered. It's an open source, supports all the OS. It's an open source, cost effective. If you wanted to know how it is cost effective, ask me, friends. I have already explained you. Let me know if you wanted to get a more explanation for it. Because of its multiple programming languages, independent of web application programming language, that's a very good thing. It is whichever web application you have, you can do automation with Selenium. No need to worry. Okay, because of its support for multiple browsers. In other automation tool, you have to be very specific. Like when we do hands-on now, I'll tell you, friends, IBM RFT is it was a very bad experience for me to do automation with IBM RFT. For each version of the browser, whether it is Firefox, IE, Chrome, they have a specific version of JRE. Not all version of browsers will work. Okay, but in Selenium you don't have these things. Maybe in between I'll get into the more about the browsers. Okay, more option to find an object, and it's a data driven object oriented, so we'll be designing keyword and data driven, and provide supports for open source frameworks like TestNG, JUnit. Whatever code you will write in Selenium, you can test it with TestNG, JUnit, and for C# user it will be NUnit, and you can do parallel execution. Okay, Anuj has a question. More options to find an object. Can you explain with example? Yes, Anuj. Like I won't be going too into detail. I'll give you in a line or two. I'll explain you. Okay, because it will take lots of time. But don't worry, I have a big things for you. Okay, but I'll try to explain in that. So more option to find an object means if you take an example of QTP, you have a few unique properties of an object. Okay, like .name, .id. I'll show you. Like if you go to, if I'll go to this application, I want to find the property of this. Okay, so I'll go to the source code of this. Okay, Anuj is saying got it using XPath. Oh, Anuj is very smart. Hey Anuj, you were already prepared for the course, I think, or you have already worked on it. That's good, Anuj. Actually, Anuj has answered 50% of the answer. He said he gave an example XPath. So friends, thing is that his question was that, and what I was about to say, there are certain unique properties with which you want to interact with the application. Okay, so I don't want to get into that because it will create a confusion for you right now. and with IBM RFT, it comes up with his own list of things. Okay, so it will be very specific to IBM RFT that it is showing me certain properties. There is an object inspector which helps me in finding the property. If I try to run it somewhere else, it won't work. But with Selenium, I have an option, more option than QTP and IBM RFT to automate the things, and with more flexibility. Even if a developer has not given the property, even then I can interact with the application. That powerful it is. Okay. Oh, Anuj is saying that I was working by myself. That's good, Anuj. So disadvantage is that of Selenium, that there is a property, as Anuj said, XPath also. So there is a property called XPath with which you can interact. So in Internet Explorer, there is no option to find it, but there is a JavaScript to find it. I'll help you how to find the property in an object. And there is like detailed description of result. Selenium will not give you. It's you who has to get the detailed explanation. Okay, so by default Selenium won't help you because it's, as I said, it's not a tool, it's an API. IBM RFT and QTP is a tool. Once you complete the execution, it will automatically generate some HTML or something log or some report. Okay, but that won't be too good. I should say a 10% of what, not also 10%. It will be like just as a formality that it has generated some data, pass or fail. But with Selenium, you can do more things, but you have to do it, then only it will work. Okay. There is one of the component called Selenium IDE. So Selenium IDE is a tool. Okay. One of the component, it is a tool within Selenium, which came first. That was the very first thing that it came up. So we'll be looking into it, but that tool is not helpful. It is a record and play. So record and play is never a good option. Okay. And verification of images is little bit difficult in Selenium, but we will do it with securely image recognition. Okay. So I think, friends, that was a very, very long session. I think almost you guys have understood why Selenium. Okay. Why automation? If I'm not wrong, if this thing is very much clear to you guys, why you have to go to automation. Okay.